STR-markers act like unique genetic fingerprints, because each person inherits one copy of a certain marker, mtDNA, from their mother, and one y-DNA, from their father. In fact, these fingerprints are not limited to the markers children inherit from their mothers and fathers. This also is the same for the markers of the much larger and more trustable whole genome, or haplotype. All this is also not just between parents and children, it is the same between all generations of humans. So if we should descend, this only even partly from Neanderthals, we should have the fingerprints of these partial ancestors, at least in the DNA that supposedly comes from them. For starters, and in general, the typical fingerprints from eventual Neanderthal mothers and fathers are absent or very dubious and not clearly proven amongst modern humans. Next, the fingerprints of the Neanderthal DNA fraction of the humans that provingly coexisted with Neanderthals that carry the Neanderthal DNA fraction that we carry today also are not present amongst any of us 8 billion modern humans. In other words, these supposed descendants of Neanderthal-Interbred Humans went all extinct. So 100% clearly we are not descendants of all the found supposed descendants of Neanderthal-Interbred Humans, and obviously also not of the Neanderthals their descendants supposedly interbred with before. We must mention that only a few such descendants were found. But that very low relative number of cases by itself already undermines it all. That is, that it undermines consensus, because independently of these very few cases, the bulk of the fossils from the feasible supposed period do not even carry something of the Neanderthal DNA fraction we carry today. In other words, early modern humans certainly did not at all successfully and sufficiently interbred with Neanderthals. On top of that, modern research proves that the Neanderthal Admixture DNA was present in humans 120,000 years too early, and this also disproves a Neanderthal interbreeding event only roughly 47,000 years ago. And this being too early also disproves out of Africa 47,000 years or before altogether. If all this sounds a bit complex, then the essence of it is: there is not one modern humans amongst us 8 billion modern humans that provingly carries any DNA that is related to any eventual interbreeding with Neanderthals, and the same is true for Denisova fractions, as well as all outliers, even the ones of millions of years ago, that never are connectedly mentioned, but that should not be even there if the consensus hypotheses had been true. Resuming. The consensus hypothesis is totally improbable, but yet fully supported by consensus and alternative historians alike. Such blinding ourselves for the real and totally different human history has arguably huge consequences for our health, capacity to thrive, and also to solve those challenges that add up to a number of interacting and each other reinforcing threats to extinction that already could be irreversible individually but as well as a perfect storm, without us even knowing this because of lack of understand of ourselves and history. So if you would want to be correct with yourself and others, or should we say be human, then we would need to openly and not blindly look into all tools we dispose of, and above all preferentially into the available ancestral markers, and not just into the few weak ones that eventually are manipulable by consensus. You can find more on these subjects and related to these subjects in our channel or its playlists, or searching YouTube for EMH, Aurignation Culture versus Out of Africa, The Essential Role of Neanderthals, Human History. Please comment with your doubts and remarks, as we pretend to complete or to remake this same video, for it to become more useful and or understandable for you and others. We do not pretend to feature popular, nor widely accepted videos, but rather to rewrite parts, especially of human history, that are scientifically proven to be improbable at this point in time. Also ask for more or better illustrations and or proofs, if this would be helpful. Please remember that you should not call yourself an alternative historian or historian, if you do not clarify at least some part of history, or do not add up with a fully scientifically supported history, or with a history without too many paradigms. Like consensus still fails to do so, and most historians, even alternative historians, also fail to do so until now. Criticizing or doubting the historical vision or timelines of others, independent if this is consensus or mainstream or none of both, is not exactly being a historian, or at least not a historian that adds up to history. Thank you.